Okay, so it says up to Halacha Yomi, page 256. 81, Halacha 81. It's praiseworthy to eat fish during each of the meals of Shabbat. It's part of Oneg Shabbat. Also has Kabbalistic reasons, and it can serve to protect the person from harm during the week. Fish also represents protection from Ain Hara and from Yetzer Hara. They say that tzaddikim, they get gilgul in fish. So you want Shabbat is like the table is like an altar. Arizal says you have to have 4 legs of the table, like all 4 corners of the mizbeach, and the food is like a korban. It's like you're uplifting the sparks when you eat for mitzvah. So the best sparks to uplift is the tzaddikim's gilgul, which is the fish. Okay, if one does not enjoy eating fish, one is not obligated to force himself to eat it. 82, fish and meat may not be eaten together. Therefore, one should eat them separate plates, separate utensils. Furthermore, one should wash his mouth and eat some bread in between. Chicken is considered like meat and should not be eaten with fish, except one does not have to wash his mouth after eating chicken. If one touched fish with one's hands, you used to wash your hands too. But Yakut Yosef says that if you use a fork or knife, so you don't really have to wash your hands. More important to wash your mouth out and eat something parv like bread. 83. One who is eating meat at the same table as a person who's eating fish does not need a separation between them. Because when do you need a separation? When you're going to transgress a biblical transgression. Or some say that what's the reason why we can't eat meat and fish together? It's because sakana, like Mara says, it's kasher ledavar acher, it's kasher letzarat. So when it's meat and milk, that there's no sakana, it's just a prohibition, so then maybe people will share. So we need to separate them, right? But fish and meat, there's a sakana, and nobody wants a sakana. So anyways, people won't share because it's sakana, it's a danger. So therefore, we don't have to separate them. So technically, you can have people on the table, one person eating fish, while one person is already eating meat. That is not asur. You don't need to have separation like you have by meat and milk. Okay. 84. There's a common custom that people first eat fish and then they eat meat. What if you want to go the other way around? That's okay too. It's okay. You don't have to eat in the order fish then meat. If you eat meat and then fish, right? What happens? She served the meat. She got so excited. She served the meat. She forgot the fish. And then he says, I don't understand. No fish today? We ate meat? I didn't say anything. Now I finished the meat. I realized we didn't have fish. Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot the fish. Let's bring it out now. Wait, are we allowed? Yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed to have meat and then fish as long as you do the same things that you would do between fish and meat. Okay. 85. One should keep the leftover food that one ate from, especially the bread, on the table while saying Birkat Hamazon. You have to have some food on the table while saying Birkat Hamazon. 86. Some have the custom to keep the salt on the table also till after Birkat Hamazon. Good morning. 87. It is proper to remove empty dishes that were used during the meal from the table before Birkat Hamazon. One should also remove dirty items that look not pleasing to the eye. You should remove them before Birkat Hamazon, but you should leave some bread on the table. 88. Some people have the custom to cover or to remove the knives from the table before saying Birkat Hamazon. One only needs to cover it if it's made out of, or remove a knife if it's made out of metal. If you have a plastic knife or a knife from a different material, the poskim will say you do not have to remove it from the table. A couple reasons for this halacha. Some say it's because you have to. There was a person when you say v'tivnei Yerushalayim, there's a person who remembered to do the destruction of Beit HaMikdash and he stabbed himself. So you have to remove this. And even though we might not stab ourselves today, but the fact is that by removing the knives, you remember that there people used to be like that. People used to be so connected to the Beit HaMikdash that they were at such a level. Others say that the Gemara says that the table of a person is what lengthens a person's life today. Instead of the mizbeach, we have a table, Rashi says, through inviting guests, or achnasat orchim. And it's not right that when we say Birkat Hamazon on the table that lengthens our life, we shouldn't have knives which shorten a person's life on the table, especially made out of metal. And then mizbeach, also you're not allowed to cut the stone with the metal. You have to use the shamir worm, the laser worm. And then many reasons for this halacha. 89. Before washing for mayim aharonim, it's customary to say mayim aharonim chova, which means washing mayim aharonim is an obligation to ensure that the meal does not conclude without any divrei Torah. But obviously, it's better not to rely on this. You should actually say words of Torah, say dvar Torah. Even so, it's proper to recite words of Torah, such as a lesson from Parshat Shavua on Halacha. It's actually Mishnayot. The custom is to finish Mishnayot, Masechet Shabbat, together with all three meals. You split it up. You do a couple chapters Friday night, a couple chapters Shabbat morning, a couple chapters Sudat Shishit. That way you'll finish Mishnah Shabbat every week. Some people have a problem doing this because they don't know Mishnah Shabbat. But once you learn it, it'll become easier and faster to the point where it becomes like Asher Yosher Beitecha. So it'll be very easy. A lot of community members also have the custom of saying Zohar. A lot of people say Zohar, Tahazeh, and all these things in the Shabbat meals. These are also beautiful customs. 90. It is an obligation to wash one's hands before Birkat Hamazon. This final washing is known as Mayim Aharonim. So one reason the Gemara says is because of sodomite salt. Maybe the salt we're eating is sodomite salt, or maybe it has the same properties as sodomite salt that will burn our eyes and blind us, Chas v'Shalom, if we don't wash our hands. Another reason is because you have to say Birkat Hamazon with clean hands. It's not right to pray with dirty hands. Number 3, according to Kabbalah, you got to give a gift to the Sitra Achra before you're going to be able to do the mitzvah of Birkat Hamazon. Okay, good. Women have the same obligation as men for mayim aharonim. Even the Ashkenazim, many of them are lenient, and the women don't wash. According to Sfaradim, many the women have to wash just like the men do. 92. One is not required to use a utensil like Netilat Yadayim. You can just open the faucet and put your hands in and wash till the second knuckle. But it's proper to. Till the knuckles of the hand. It's proper to use a mayim aharonim utensil. Okay, 93. The water that was used may be poured down the drain. That's not a problem. 94. One should preferably use cold water. You cannot use water that is very hot. 95. Water is unavailable. Other liquids may be used for mayim aharonim besides for wine. Wine is not able to be used unless there's no other liquids available. 96. One should wash only until his knuckles, the end of his fingers. If your hands are dirty, then you should wash. Let's say you got dirty here, you should even wash that. But usually you go to the knuckle. And we try to, according to Kabbalah, we're going to see, we try not to use more water than needed for this. Since it's going to Sitra Achra, we don't want to give them so much, right? You only need to pour it one time. The time is 3 times, but the mayim aharonim is only once. 98. One is not required to use revi'it of water. According to Kabbalah, one should not use more than is needed to wash one's fingers. Some people, I saw there's sometimes condensation on a cold bottle of liquid, and they take the condensation and they go like this. There's very little. It gets maybe just the fingertips, your fingernails. That's what it covers. You have to actually pour it to the top of the knuckle and wash this entire hand, entire fingers. But more than that, you shouldn't use. 99. Bracha is not recited when you say mayim aharonim. And 100. The vessel that used for mayim aharonim is allowed to stay on the table. There is mahloket. Some opinions say you have to remove this water from the table before you make Birkat Hamazon, but technically it is permitted to keep it there. We'll stop over here.